Loompa, Oopa Loompa, Oopa Loompa, Loompa Loompa, Oopa 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 Augustus Gloop, the great big reading nincompoop. Augustus Gloop, so big and vile.
So, welcome to my showcase of my first dungeon. Yeah, it's an RPG I've been working on for like the past few days. It's been a week now, and this is the first dungeon in the game. I had tons of fun making it, and I think I might have made it a bit too hard. Just a bit. I mean, you could get your ass whooped so many times just because you made a mistake. But I was nice. I was real nice. I put tons of healing items and recovery points and all sorts of stuff. Like, hopefully after this battle, I'll show you the dungeon. Now, in the beginning you saw the whole Oompa Loompa song and the CSI's yeah thing. And they're not in the game. The Oompa Loompa thing was just for me, because I love that song. Except the Miami thing. That's actually in the game. It's part of a little abandoned village event. And I sort of forgot to start recording, so I pressed the switch there. But yeah, in this dungeon there's 6 switches that you have to push to get to a treasure chest. Now, you saw the little ghost looking thing moving around and those little scarecrows moving around? And each one does something. Like the ghost thing, if you touch it, you get into a battle with 2 ghosts, and it's not too hard. But then you get teleported somewhere else, really. And it can be a pain in the ass, because you can lose track of which switches you've got on. Although I've made this dungeon fairly linear. So even if you get teleported somewhere else, you can always just get back to the beginning real easily. And then there's the scarecrows. And the scarecrows can be a pain in the ass. But there's only like 2 of them that are kind of like real pains in the ass, because I made them move fast. All the others are fairly slow and easy to avoid. But yeah, when you touch a scarecrow, you get pushed forward and your party takes 150 damage. Then there's the skeletons. The skeletons, they've got items. They're like little treasure chests. But, you know, if you don't click on them, then you don't get anything. Just like a treasure chest. Now, let's see, the enemies. You've got the yellow ghost, who's a pain in the ass when you fight him with other monsters. Because what he does is he paralyzes you a lot, and he reduces your agility, he reduces your agility as well, which can also be a pain in the ass, especially if you're trying to heal. Then there's the ghost, the regular old ghost, who's just, black version of the ghost. And he can inflict blindness, and I think that was it. But he can inflict onto the whole party at once, which is a pain for the main character, the one who would probably be using her physical attack more often than magic spells, mainly because her mana pool is fairly low. And right off the bat I'm giving you weapons with elemental properties, and you get all of them right at the very beginning of the game. So you'd probably be using just her physical attack. And I also added, every character has a spell that doesn't cost anything, really. For example, Thesaria, she's got Chant, which heals a character. And the healing is not great, but it's healing and it's free. And then you've got Kess, who is the mage, who initially acts as both the healer and a DPS. And her no-cost attack is, you've probably seen it already, it's literally just an attack, a non-elemental attack. And yeah, and you've got, I set up 2 other characters as well. And in this version, the demo version, you only get these 2 characters to play with until the end of the demo. And they only have the skills, well, that and I think one more. Well, Vera has more. Kess has more. But you'll see Thesaria's skills, Thesaria's last skills now. And they have like 6 skills each, maybe 7 with Kess. Kess has 7. And, but the thing is, I've put in classes, which is probably very normal for anything made with RGP Maker, because it's fairly easy to add classes. But I added loads of classes, and as you can see, there's also tons and tons of items. Oh, with items you've got potions and mojo, which can only be used in battle. Also you have scrolls, which can only be used in battle, but those just are like magic spells. Okay, and they're your healing items, the potions and the mojo. Then you've got food, and food is your healing items outside of battle, and it heals by percentage, whereas the potions and the mojos heal a flat number plus 1%. What else? Oh, every enemy drops an essence, and they're all fairly useful, except for the slime essence, which is pathetic. For example, skeletons drop skeleton essence, and what that does is you use it in battle, you deal damage, and then you absorb damage, and you absorb the amount you dealt. You've got the ghostly essence, which raises your agility, which is actually useful for the boss of this dungeon, who will be a pain in the ass. And I think I'm going to be making a video for him as well. No, but seriously, that boss is a pain in the ass. The bosses, I've made them very difficult. Well, it's more like sandbagging, because it's all about you keeping your team alive while doing enough damage so that they die before you die. And it's fairly frustrating. Like, for a first boss, I think I went too far and made him too difficult. But I also took into account that, well, I'm assuming the player went ahead and did the side quests, which add items and weapons and give you extra money to spend on healing items and stuff, which can really prepare you for the boss. And let's see, what else is there to say? Oh, the switches, I think I mentioned already. There are 6 switches. Push them all, you get treasure. And it's specifically a set of items for Kess, because when you get her, you're very limited with what you can equip her with, and she's fairly weak as far as equipment goes. But you can probably tell she's doing most of the damage because of her spells. And in this dungeon, it's only her Gust, her Wind spell. Because, come on, I mean, undeads are weak against Wind and, Holy Element. They're not going to be weak against, Thunder, because what's Thunder going to do to undead? You could probably think of something, but it's definitely not going to do something to their nervous system. And here you can see they learned new spells. Like, as far as Thesaria goes, that's her last spell. And here I made a mistake. I used way too much food to heal her, to heal Kess, because you just saw there's a recovery point right there, which meant it was totally pointless to heal them. Totally pointless. Anyways, let's continue, and we're nearing the last part of this dungeon. And here there are no scarecrows, whoop, but more ghosts. And this part with the ghosts, they can be extremely annoying because they can send you all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon, and that could piss you off, like get you mad. And you'll notice I've added tons of potions and mojo, because trust me, you're gonna need them all. You're going to need them all. The boss is a pain in the ass. Boom, holy spells, whoop. And let's see, other things I should mention. Oh, with the boss I added sort of an easy way to end the fight. Well, it's not really easy, it's easier than just, you know, dishing it out manually, normally. In the sense that, I'll just tell you that part when I film the boss battle. When I record the boss battle. But yeah, it's sort of just an extra way of, not really extra way of doing anything. Just makes the game slightly more bearable in the fighting sense, because it's going to whoop your ass. Like here, if you didn't do what I do. Didn't do what I did and go after the side bosses, the mini bosses, all 5 of them, along with the 4 optional areas, which are all easy. Like the optional areas, they're part of a side quest, and you just walk in, you get asked a bunch of questions, you answer correctly, and boom, you get an item. Then there's the mini bosses, who can also totally whoop your ass, because like they have lots of health and they're just gonna rape you. Here's the little treasure chest room. And here I forgot to change something, in the sense that that staff is supposed to be one-handed, so that you can equip it with the shield, because you're going to want to do that. Anyways, here before the boss battle, you'll see that I have tons of items, and I'm gonna need most of them. I'll show you now. I think I'm gonna scroll up to the item list in a few seconds. I think. Am I? Will I? I forgot. Oh, there we go, Yeah. You're gonna need attack scrolls and defense scrolls, definitely, just to make the fight easier. That mind grind scroll is gonna be important to confuse one of the mobs with the boss. The zombie essence is gonna be important. Ghostly essence is gonna be important. Zombie essence, definitely. You have all these other weapons that are not gonna be useful, only because we're already equipped with what we want. And yeah, you also have the items, the Shut Me Not pot, the honey cream, the pyroids, and the lotion lavender, which you're gonna need, because I don't think I mentioned it yet, but every enemy packs status afflictions. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.